Former cancer patient is now the first man in the U.S. to undergo a penis transplant. Thomas Manning of Halifax, Massachusetts, had part of his penis removed after a cancer diagnosis. Well, surgeons performed that operation earlier this month, and it was a 15-hour procedure. A deceased donor was used with special permission from his family. Officials say it's truly a breakthrough surgery that could affect many men with devastating genital injuries. And this is just one of many breakthrough transplant surgeries.
Yeah, we told you about the big case here too. Charlotte Nash, who got a face transplant after being attacked by a chimp. So tonight we're looking into what these breakthrough procedures mean for the future of medicine. News 8's medical reporter Jocelyn Maminta is here now with that. Jocelyn?
Darren and Ann, we are all familiar with transplants involving organs like the heart, kidney, and liver. Dr. David Mulligan, who heads up the transplantation center at Yale New Haven Hospital, tells me they are life-saving transplants. Today's announcement underscores the growing trend of what he refers to as life-enhancing transplants.
The evolution of organ transplantation is quickly advancing, notably in life-enhancing transplants. In recent years, complicated procedures have included a full face, a uterus, and now the first penis transplant in the U.S. at Massachusetts General in Boston. Doctors say the patient is doing well.
We're cautiously optimistic. It's still early days. It's still early in his course, and we've learned a lot already. But we're hopeful that, with this kind of experimental surgery that we can learn enough to make it safe and routine.
The chief of the transplantation center at Yale New Haven Hospital, Dr. David Mulligan, says improved anti-rejection drugs and fine-tuned surgical skills are behind these type of transplants.
We can sew ends of blood vessels together under a microscope using very, very fine threads and needle in order to make this work.
At Yale New Haven, kidney transplants are the norm, but expect more to come.
I think we have a few other organs to transplant that we haven't transplanted yet. The one that we're working on right now here at Yale is the uterus transplant.
The most exciting level of breakthroughs, he predicts, could come within the decade with the use of a 3D bioprinter. Yale School of Medicine has one. This could lead to duplicating or growing a new organ out of the body's own cells.
So that then we can take that new organ within hours of starting the cellular regeneration process and then use that to transplant into a person who won't even need immunosuppression because it's their own cells.
Already, researchers are making significant advances.
Right now, within about 8 to 9 minutes, we can print fully branched, fully lined blood vessels with all the layers that they need to have in order to be functional.
Despite all this, Dr. Mulligan stresses the critical need of organ donation, with thousands of people on the list waiting for the gift of life.
Dr. Mulligan tells me today's announcement will be closely watched by the Department of Defense. The success of the transplant could affect the lives of wounded soldiers who've come back from Iraq and Afghanistan injured in the pelvic area. He says this particular group has a high suicide rate. Darren?